Welcome to a 2v2 on Rails and Metal. Man, I haven't done a cast on Rails and Metal in forever. I can't even remember the last time I looked at this map. Which is kind of a shame. I actually like this map. Rear echelon troops making their way right. Combat engineers going left. So we've got mixed allies. Mixed allies in the south. Airborne rifle, infantry, shock motor, Soviet shock army, shock rifle, Zonk, and Livingflame versus mixed axis in the north. Alerus and ProfessorVZ with Luftwaffe ground forces and mechanized assault already chosen. Wow, what is it with people and spamming assault grenadiers? Apparently this is becoming a thing. Ajas has redefined the meta with his legendary assault grenadier spam. Stern Pioneers are going to try and force combat engineers out of the house here on the left. And there are no west-facing windows on this building, so they'll have no problem doing that. Combat engineers reposition out of the building. Over here on the right side, rear echelon troops do manage, or riflemen take the house, but assault grenadiers force a retreat from those rear echelon troops. Might be able to force a retreat from these riflemen. There are a lot of north-facing windows, 3 north-facing windows, but only 1 south-facing window, so the best place to engage this building is from the south side. Assault grenadiers are standing on the right side, which is probably the worst place to engage this house from. It has 5 windows, 6 windows facing the right side. And it looks like we're going to see Maxim spam from Livingflame. Doesn't look like it's going very well yet. Stern Pyos caught that one way out of position. Looks like that's going to be a wipe if it doesn't retreat. Retreat, retreat, retreat. Dead. And this one has to rotate to deal with these Stern Pyos firing from this direction. Volksgrenadiers are suppressed. Whoa, that's steel! I don't know if I think that was a good idea. I think he should have gone for the kill on that Maxim rather than the steal, but getting that is definitely good. It is nice. Assault Grenadiers have forced the riflemen from the house over here on the right side and forced that retreat. This squad, falling low, also is forced to retreat. Pretty awful opening for the Allies so far, who have failed to take even 1 fuel point and have forced to retreat or lost team weapons on both sides of the map. Battle group headquarters going up here. Interesting placement. A little cramped. Could definitely see infantry models getting stuck back here. Maybe vulnerable to nasty howitzer shots or something. I tend to not like doing that. I'd rather have a little more breathing room around my forward retreat points.
Watch your distance! Shift your fire!
Fortunately, there's no B4, but there is an ML20 potential, so I don't know. We'll see if that battle group placement pays off. Conscripts setting up in green cover here to engage against these Volksgrenadiers, jumping into the trench. Maxim is going to retreat right there, and a couple of riflemen jumping into the building. Rear echelon troops gonna reposition out, try and maybe get a little more territory under control. Finally, the Allies have taken this fuel, but another big push from Assault Grenadiers is on its way. Just 3 Assault Grenadiers, just spamming nothing but Assault Grenadiers. Maxim jumps in the house. Stern Pioneers reinforced on the battle group HQ, and Volksgrenadiers making their way south towards the munitions and VP. And none of these 3 points have been captured by either side yet. Zonk is too preoccupied trying to get back control of this fuel point. ProfessorVZ also too preoccupied with trying to counter him, and then these 2 players too preoccupied in fighting over the left side. VP cut off in munition or fuel, so nobody has captured a munitions point yet at all this game. Fighting position going up right here from rear echelon troops to try and point a machine gun at this fuel and keep it in Allied control. Riflemen do secure the building, and it looks like Assault Grenadiers have failed horribly to scale into the mid-game and will be forced to retreat. No huge surprise right there.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Maxim suppresses 2 of those conscript squads. Counter suppressed by this Maxim here behind this searchlight. Volksgrenadiers running into the trench to try and flank that thing. Mortar on the field as well. Over here, so this may become a slightly more difficult position for Alerus to hold if he can't get some flanking done with his Sturm Pioneer squad, but currently he's too preoccupied with back capping, trying to get that munitions point capped. 6 minutes into the game is a little late to get that munitions point, but better late than never. And Assault Grenadiers just continue to just hurl themselves at the fuel point and hope for the best. I think it's going to get very difficult for them to do anything useful at this stage of the game. There's a 50 cal pointed at this area, an M20 now on the field. They have no real counter to the M20 other than just trying to kill it with small arms fire at close range, which is not cost effective to do in the least. And Sturm Pioneers making their way up over here to the left side, put heavy damage on that conscript squad. Could be a wipe, trying to Ouvra to safety. Why would he not just retreat? What does a one-man conscript squad even have to offer to this engagement? One Sturm Pile brought down. He could circle around to this green cover wall and run along the wall to try and negate any damage he might receive on the approach, but there's not actually that much here to bleed his approach, honestly. Maxim's gonna go down so quick. Why doesn't the Soviet player click the retreat button? Oh my god. Sturm piles are so low they might actually start getting sniped. No, never mind. Everything's fine. Ooh, that's snipe. That Panzerschreck snipe. I was about to say they might go down a little bit to the 6-man team weapon crews. One of them might go down right here against this field gun. Volksgrenadiers are going to recover that Maxim or salvage it. Meanwhile, the right side engagement's going pretty much exactly how I thought it was going to. M20 easily chases away all Assault Grenadiers because they cannot counter an M20 at all, and the entire right side will get taken by Zonk's riflemen. Over here on the left, that field gun is getting shredded.
That's everyone. Grenadiers ready.
He gets out of Sturm Pio effective combat range. They're going to retreat from a scary mortar. Pretty good thing they did. That could have been a wipe. That was pretty close. And Volksgrenadiers finished capturing the point. Probably going to have to retreat as well. Unfortunately, he did not recover or salvage that machine gun when he had the chance. He does have an MG34 moving up right here. Another Volksgrenadier squad could get that Maxim off the field. And here on the right side, riflemen in the building. Riflemen grabbing the strategic point. ProfessorVZ has been pushed completely back into the base, and he's about to start just blobbing his way back towards the fuel. You might be able to catch this rifle squad not being monitored if that M20 is just there. They go. M20 is chasing down a Panzerschreck squad here in the middle. They're probably going to get away just fine. Infantry support gun on the field, try and shut down Soviet player hard over here on the left. Rifle squad inside this building will only be able to hold for so long against those assault engineers. Trying to bleed them a little bit as they get close to allow his M20 to push the rest back into the Oster base. He's taken too much damage to feel comfortable in this engagement any further and will leave the building. M20 forces that retreat right there, and they should not just blob over the red cover towards an M20. What is even the point? Wow, it doesn't even have armor skirts. And it might still win the engagement even without armor skirts, even against that much stuff. I don't know, this is actually getting a little close. He should probably get that M20 out of there. He can always pop smoke, which he does, get that thing to safety. Lieutenant engaging here against this Volksgrenadier squad also forces that retreat. And over here on the left, the Soviet player appears to be experiencing very limited success. Still no salvage on that Maxim though. Volksgrenadiers have harassed this point again. Soviet player seems to have been pushed completely back into his base. Tier 3 structure is on its way. Thanks to Zonk's efforts over here on the right side, he does have some fuel coming in, and both munitions points are currently held by the Allies.
Heavy vehicle production can now begin.
So pretty okay chance of T-70. Half track, you will go half track. Okay. Over here in the U.S. base, Major is in production after Lieutenant, Utility Car, 3 riflemen, so he's just rushing out a Sherman. Pretty standard stuff. He will delay the Sherman slightly by getting an ambulance first, but Should be fine. And I'm not sure if this M20 has planted any mines anywhere. Holding both munitions points now. Zonk will have access to a lot of munitions. He hasn't upgraded any. That was a huge infantry support gun shot. Wow.
Battalion just released a major for action. Heavy truck, waiting for deployment.
Did that Raketenwerfer just snipe an infantry support gun team member? Yes. Raketenwerfer moves to fire on the M20, which continues dancing around this area, has dodged all shots thus far. MG34 gets cleared, not being monitored under mortar fire. Here comes the half-track to allow for forward reinforcement from the Soviet player. Stern pilots have to retreat from an engagement here, and the assault grenadier blob will continue to move right. And if it does manage to encounter any lone rifle squads, it might be able to force retreats, but it probably can't really take this fuel point without just walking into a 50 cal. And there's skirts on this M20, which means it can take on a large amount of assault grenadiers. They are going to try and brute force it to death with small arms fire, and clearly it's taking an extremely long time for that to work. There goes one squad. Volley fire is active. They just instantly die. Infantry support gun friendly fire just suppressed one of these. Continues to try and kite with the M20. M20 pops smoke and will retreat back to base. Ambulance probably need to pull back to base as well. The assault grenadier blob was too chunky. This one squad taking control of the right side victory point. Everything just retreated. Interesting. Apparently he wanted to go back for healing for some reason. These three squads gonna reinforce and heal on the ambulance. On the left side, conscripts are taking control of the victory point, and there's a quad mount upgrade on this machine gun. Stolen MG34 plus recovered Maxim. Again, he never salvaged that Maxim. This Maxim wouldn't even be here if Alerus had just salvaged that when he had the opportunity. Kind of a shame to let that happen. Mortar making its way up behind the lines as well, and the Soviet player looks like he will get pretty decent hold on the victory point here. May be a little harder to take control of the cutoff and fuel though. Anything would move to defend. There's a tier 4 structure right here to prevent anything from getting too close. And an infantry support gun might be able to do light bombardment from range. Over here on the right side, the M20 has been fully repaired, and there are riflemen making their way back to the front line, plus major retreat point. Once there's a Sherman on the field, it's going to be able to shred these assault grenadiers so easily. Apparently ProfessorVZ has gone straight to tier 4. 5 assault grenadiers straight to tier 4. Man, that is a very interesting build. I don't think I've seen anything like that before. Normally mechanized assault just goes Collins, but okay, I am intrigued. Probably going Panther next, I guess. He'll have the fuel for it pretty soon. That squad's getting killed. Not being monitored. Panzer Strike squad gets wiped. High explosive barrage from the Zis gun on an MG34 over here. Could wipe it if it doesn't retreat soon. PPSH upgrades on these conscripts apparently, having gone Soviet Shock Army. Not sure that's really that useful on the left side of rails in the middle, which has a tendency toward long-range engagements, but alright. Let's see if you can make good use of those. Charging into close range on those Folks Grenadiers will have a bit of an opportunity. The half-track is available here to reinforce anything that might drop a couple models. So far, nothing is taking all that much damage. Ooh, nice hit from the support gun right there. These guys get pinned in return by the Maxim. This gun is repositioning slightly up here. Folks Grenadiers jumping into close range to maybe put pressure on the half track, but it doesn't look like the engagement is going very well for Alerus. Needs to pull back. Infantry support guns getting some nice hits off, but other than that, they can just out-reinforce the losses, and the suppression is too much for any of this infantry. It's all going to be forced to retreat. Now, Raketenwerfer will prevent that half track from getting too close. But if everything is forced back, there's a decent chance that tier 4 structure will be in very real danger from the field gun. That Panther wreck is blocking so many shots. Over here on the right side, the M20 is scared off the assault grenadier blob again, I think. Not sure where. Yeah, they're all just in the base again. Full retreat. Panther is in production. Probably going to make its way right. We'll see a few squads here on the major retreat point, reinforcing and healing, but most engagements seem to be centered on around the left side victory point right now. And Zonk's Sherman is about to hit the field, and when it does, it will be able to punish this so hard, except for the fact that there's a Panther on the field. It's pretty impressive, actually, to get a Panther out at the same time as a Sherman. Pretty impressive. Only in 2v2. Here comes the Sherman, and here comes the Panther. Combat engineers retreating from the left. Assault Grenadiers will force away the lieutenant right there. Sherman is firing on some stuff. Man, look how many corpses there are where that infantry support gun has been firing. Sherman should probably pull back away from that Panther, although it's already up to 8 kills shooting at those Assault Grenadiers. I don't know if it's going to survive this, though. That Panther could easily chase it to death. I don't see any M20 mines, and I don't see any engine damage potential here either, except for this one rifle squad. I don't know why that Panther would not chase that. That is an easy kill. That Sherman's going to make a miracle escape. There's the chase. Does get the engine damage off on its rear armor. Sherman needs to keep reversing, and it should be able to get to safety since the Panther was just lazy about chasing, honestly. It definitely could have killed that Sherman if it had wanted to. Apparently some sort of fire happened over here. Kettenwerfer and Folks Grenadiers reposition out of the flames a little bit. Over Commando West, Panther is on the field now too, with 2 Panthers running around. I think the Allies are going to struggle a little bit. There's not really much of a counter to them. There are no call-ins coming for the Soviet player, although there are 2 field guns right here, which means that Panther should get out of here if infantry support is not on its way. It can't circle strafe them forever. Here comes Folks Grenadiers to maybe try and toss a miracle grenade. Conscripts are on their way to try and damage that Panther's engine. Grenade damages the field gun crew a little bit. This field gun facing right, this one facing south. Needs to keep microing them, point them towards that Panther. If it gets lazy about circle strafing, punish that. There's the engine damage from the conscripts, and that Panther's gonna have to pull back away to safety. The Oster Panther is over here and has had its engine fully repaired. And an M20 is bullying the Assault Grenadier blob over here on the right side. Poor Assault Grenadier blob, if only there were anything they could do. Against an M20 with 28 kills? Really? Oh my god. That's so many. That's gonna be a Vet 3 M20. That's just ridiculous. Sherman's fully repaired and is making its way right to punish this, and the Panther is currently tied up in an engagement over here on the left side against 2 field guns. Obviously it's not doing very well. Sherman dives on the blob. Oh god, this is just painful. That Sherman could base dive and kill everything if it wanted to. And I think it does want to. M20 leading the charge. At Vet 3 it actually has like armor-piercing rounds, which I don't actually know what that even means. Like better 50 cal penetration, that probably means it's not actually any better against infantry. Except shock troops. But it is better against... Oh! That crush! No squads wiped. Maybe you should just let them all live. This amount of manpower bleed is ridiculously crippling, and he certainly wouldn't want his opponent to replace these squads with something useful like Grenadiers. Oh my god. 32 kills on this Sherman in one engagement. He just keeps on spamming R. Just keep hitting R until all your manpower is gone. 41 kills. Well, only R if you use classic hotkeys like me. Panther finally arrives to save the day. Apparently, riflemen can just walk into this base. Neither one of those machine guns did anything about the fact that these riflemen are just walking into this base and then immediately retreat. I'm not even sure what that was meant to accomplish. Vet 2 Sherman should be able to get to safety if he pops smoke and doesn't path horribly badly. Okay, now the Sherman's probably gonna die. Vet 2 Sherman has really good acceleration and speed, but apparently has still got awful pathing. What happened here? No! M20 got caught repairing and the Sherman is now dead and the M20 is decrewed. Free for the taking. Both Axis Panthers seem to be doing just fine. Sherman, pretty good exchange. Don't dive with the Jackson! What are you doing, Zonk? Get out of there! Just blow up the M20 and call it a day. I don't think you can very realistically hope to accomplish anything unless his teammate just decides to be like, see ya, I hope you can... Good luck against that Jackson. I'm sure you can handle it, which he actually probably can. Panther's a little low, but it is also Vet 2, so the Jackson has to be careful. It only takes 3 successful Panther shots to destroy a Jackson, so... Apparently I checked the left side front just in time to watch those stern piles almost get wiped, but not quite. Molotov. Toss right there. Doesn't really hit anything. Folks Grenadiers are going to chase that PPSH squad away. The forward half-track, by the way, seems to be paying off. This Soviet front line has not faltered at all. 2 Maxims, or no, Maxim MG34, 2 field guns, mortar and heavy mortar. Makes it a pretty good position from which to bombard enemy defenses. There's currently the tier 4 structures still doing fine. All 3 Ober Commando West structures doing fine. And a second infantry support gun is currently in production. Interesting.
Ready for action.
Tier 4 structure plus massed infantry have no problem chasing away the riflemen right there, and this German M20 is gonna start circling around the right side, hunting, thirsty for revenge. It's now spattered in blood. Actually, I guess it was always spattered in blood, and that's Zonk's skin. I guess it doesn't switch skins when you recover an abandoned vehicle, does it? It uses the original one. Well, it's gonna die, apparently, if it doesn't pop smoke, like right now. Oh man, miracle miss from the Jackson. Now it's the Jackson's turn to be in a lot of trouble from that Panther, which looks like it's going to give chase. Second Panther long shot at the Jackson will go down. Ambulance gets picked up too. These 2 Panthers. My god, the impact they've had once they hit the field. ProfessorVZ was doing, honestly, just horrible until his Panther came out, and now he's doing great, because clearly there wasn't sufficient stuff on the field to counter it yet at all. Clearly the Soviet player is fine against the Panthers, so the Axis are just ignoring him, since he seems pretty content to just sit here with his entire army. 79 pop cap worth of Soviet units sitting within a 25-foot circle, defending 1 victory point. Seems to be going pretty okay over there. Axis efforts against that seem to include nothing more than infantry support gun spam, if 2 of them counts as spam, which it probably does, because it's like 860 manpower worth of infantry support gun, which is still worse in direct fire than 1 Soviet heavy mortar, in all honesty. M20 firing at Rifleman. Too bad it doesn't have its armor-piercing round still. Unless it does, because of bugs, which I would actually believe. I would actually not be surprised at all if it still has the armor-piercing rounds, but the bonus is probably so meaningless against infantry that the bugs probably cancel out. I shouldn't make assumptions, though. I shouldn't just assume that there are mystery bugs. As statistically likely as they probably are. Everything is dying. Infantry support gun gets cleared over there on the left side. Panther moves up into short range against the T-34 right there. Tiger making its way left. And apparently it's going to dive straight into a field gun wall. With some measure of success. Infantry support guns supporting will clear that one pretty quickly. All shots thus far have bounced. Nice block by the teammate right there to make sure that Tiger cannot possibly disengage if it wants to. But it doesn't need to since both field guns are now cleared. Panther moving in on the flank to snipe the half track and prevent any further reinforcement. Man, some huge infantry support gun hits during this engagement. That AT gun cleared twice now by infantry support gun fire. These two squads probably want to retreat. They're falling very low after being pinned under heavy mortar fire as well. There they go. Engine destroyed on the half track and abandoned. It'll die eventually. Something will kill it. Panther's gonna switch targets to the T-34 right there before trying to reposition to safety. This field gun's been recrewed, needs to get cleared again. That gun's been destroyed entirely. Panther falls to about a quarter and needs to get back for repairs at Vet 2. Tiger should be able to clear that gun. Maybe. The half-track gets destroyed by a T-34 shot. Infantry support gun continues pounding away at these defensive positions. Couple shots missed, not doing anything too serious. On the right side, a fresh Jackson has been fielded. These two assault grenadiers probably lose this. They're quite wounded for this engagement. Might be able to force that lieutenant to retreat with M20 support. Actually, they can turn this engagement. Grenade toss from the lieutenant wipes the squad. Lieutenant also gets wiped. M20 just randomly popped smoke for no reason and pulled away.
We have a fresh grenadier squad.
And Riflemen win the engagement. We'll be able to get control of the right side victory point. Soviet front line is significantly weaker now than it was before. Half-track dead, field gun destroyed, most team weapons in the area hanging on by a tiny sliver of health. But since all Axis tanks have pulled back for repairs, Soviets do get a brief period where they will be able to hold on to that left side VP. Infantry support guns could continue firing through the fog with barrage or attack ground. Clearly have range on everything, and it's not like any of it has moved. It didn't move for the last 15 minutes. I don't see why it would now. Fresh half-track on the field. Hopefully this one will survive a little longer. He will be able to reinforce all of these team weapons now, since his opponent was generous enough to grant him a ceasefire. This one has 45 kills? Oh my god! That is the best infantry support gun performance I have ever seen, I think, in a 29-minute game. That's like a hour-and-a-half long game worth of infantry support gun kills right there. I can't even believe that. Pretty amazing. Are you smart? Of course you're smart. You donate to my stream. You must be smart. And beautiful. That's my donation message. No, the mine! Oh no! Well, that's a dead panther. That's what he gets for that deep flank. Even in a game with a skill level this low, you still can't just be diving and circle strafing with panthers without getting punished by a mine eventually. I don't know how many times I've seen something like that happen on my stream. Every time. Well, hopefully he'll buy a Minesweeper next time. That Panther is now dead, although he's actually getting pretty close to King Tiger in all fairness. This Tiger's going to pull back away from that engagement. And the half-track actually fell extremely low during that, so it may not feel totally comfortable sticking around either. P-47 fires a volley on the Tiger right there, bringing it down somewhat low there. 2 Jacksons moving up to fire on the Tier 4 structure. That's going to go down very fast if nothing arrives to counter. The fact that one of the Panthers died and the other one is randomly shooting at shock troops over here on this side means that those Jacksons are going to have no problem killing this. Where's the teamwork? Team! Like, what have we been trying to accomplish over here? Killing a almost dead field gun and a mortar. Oh, the Tier 4 structure is destroyed. I certainly hope he didn't want to make any units out of that, because he can't now. No overs for him. He obviously wasn't planning on making a second Panther, though, because he had 1,000 manpower and 200 fuel in the bank. Decides to spend some of his manpower now. ProfessorVZ, on the other hand, is like, nah, I'd rather just keep my manpower. 900 manpower is not enough. I need more. Both of them are floating almost 1,000 manpower 30 minutes into the game. Why? They do want to win, right? Assault Grenadiers are going to retreat over here from the right side. Allies, on the other hand, spending just about everything they have. It looks like we're going to see another Tier 4 unit from Zonk very soon. Although he's getting, I think, kind of close to his pop cap. Once that Jackson is recruited, he's going to be, and he queues up another Tier 4 unit, that'll probably be very close to 100 of 100. He still has all of his infantry, throwing Tier 4 units on the field. I've seen him lose at least one Sherman. I don't know if he's lost anything other than that. The stolen M20 is apparently scouting. Driving up to a field gun and then popping smoke and then retreating. I guess to provide vision for the infantry support gun. Is my guess, which isn't really getting any big hits yet, but there's a pretty decent chance that it will at some point. Rifleman jumping up onto the hill right here to take control of the munitions. Tiger's gonna try and snipe that Scott? Nope. Rifleman. Okay, here comes another P-47 rockets. Something. Major artillery? No, that is a P-47 rocket strike. Coming in on the Tiger, so it should get to safety. Strike zone ends up here. Jackson's miss a volley. It looks like the Tiger will get away, but it needs to get out of the strike zone. Which it will do slowly. Plane's probably locked on for a second pass, but I think it'll survive. Especially if the P-47 targets this Panther instead. Double Jackson doing great damage to those tanks, though. Both of them are going to have to pull back for repairs. One of the planes crashed right there. I don't think it hit anything, though. Sturmovik also gets called in, firing at some stuff. Folks Grenadiers gambling a little bit here in the center VP. They're going to certainly die if they don't retreat. Now they're dead. Stern Pioneers move to repair the Tiger right there. Is he really making fresh Assault Grenadier squads? What is he, insane? I just don't understand that. I mean, at a certain point, it's okay to build Tier 1. That point is when you have 1,000 manpower in the bank, and you have a Tiger, and a Panther. At that point, it's okay to build Tier 1. Romeo seal of approval on the Tier 1 structure. The blob gets suppressed. The ambulance is charging the blob now. Light artillery barrage falling into the sector. Ambulance tries to drive to safety. Scott firing on all this stuff. Gets a couple kills, but all 3 squads will get away alive. Light artillery barrage ends, and Zonk retains control of the right side. These 2 Folks Grenadiers move up to take control of the center VP. And over here on the left.
200 points remaining.
Field gun needs to rotate a little bit. Second field gun has been repurchased and is making its way up the left side to try and keep up the defense of the left side of VP. Shock troops moving through green cover to try and maybe find an opportunity against those Volks Grenadiers. Taking a little bit of damage on their approach though. Scots bombarding the center VP from range. Grenades off target. Shocks might be able to deploy smoke to get that captured, but they'll just retreat instead. How's that infantry support gun doing? Vet 4 with 58 kills. Oh my god, that is without a doubt the best infantry support gun I have seen this patch. That is truly, truly impressive. I am pretty amazed by that. I guess that's what happens when there's just stationary team weapons reinforcing out of a half track under infantry support gun fire for 35 straight minutes.
Close air support is available.
I think at Vet 5 the ISG actually does get a useful vet bonus. I hope we actually see that this game. Increases targeting, resulting in greater weapon lethality and penetrating hits. Man, I hate the vagueness of those tooltips. They tell me nothing about anything. But okay. The Tier 4 swarm is growing here in the middle. 2 Scots and 2 Jacksons on the field now, trying to bombard those infantry support guns from range. With the Scots to get them cleared and maybe get the veterancy bonuses off of them, from whatever they're worth. Tiger moves up to push the Scots away. Jackson's available for the engagement. That Scot gets sniped pretty fast by Panzer Shreks and Tiger fire. This one's a little bit stuck, but Jacksons are doing huge damage to that Tiger, which has engine damage and is probably gonna die. Maybe. I don't know. Panther moves up to try and save the day, going in hard on this Jackson. All Volks Grenadiers are going to be forced to retreat. That Tiger is making a miracle escape. Shock troops taking advantage of this engagement to move up and clear the gun. No! 65 some kill infantry support gun gets cleared and we won't get to see Vet 5. Nice push by those Shocks during that. Nice timing on that. Although it looks like it will get recrewed eventually.
Enemy movement! On the flank! Enemy infantry!
Tiger is dead, taken down by Jacksons at range. Jacksons continue to poke at various stuff, but they need to be careful of that Raketenwerfer. Half track moves up to try and clear it completely.
Enemy flanking us!
It is out reinforcing the damage, doesn't seem to want to turn, and it gets completely cleared. Gets too close to the Tier 4 structure. Ah! Panther snipes it regardless. MG-34 and 2 field guns are the only thing left over here, again, to try and defend against everything the Axis have. Soviet player has been just pounded by artillery all game. Doesn't have very much stuff. This massive Jackson swarm is going to be able to kill that Tier 4 structure so easily. There's a Vet 3 Panther and a Tiger right there, but all Over Commando West armor, I believe, has been destroyed. This is a fresh Tiger, the other one just exploded. But a King Tiger is in production, will probably be hitting the field quite soon. Light artillery barrage just got dropped right there on the Jacksons. That's probably not really going to hit anything, and a P-47 rocket strike just got called in up here on the Tiger and Panther. This particular Jackson falls extremely low and needs to pull back to safety. What is it doing? Run! Run! Okay, that's dead. This one's still positioned pretty well at range. This one's now in a little bit of danger. Needs to pull back. Pull back. Panther shot just missed. Tiger shot connects. That Jackson's gonna die if it doesn't kite. Both 2 Jacksons now dead. Jackson shot penetrates the Vet 3 Panther frontally, and P-47s continue firing with the Tier 4 structure dead. There's not very much AA on the field. There might not be any AA on the field except for Panther top mount machine guns. Tiger is trying to scare off that Jackson. Its reverse path is compromised by this stupid little house, and it dies. All 3 Jacksons dead, and the P-47s don't seem to be able to trade. That one just got shot down. Airborne assault being deployed here in the center for Fallschirmjäger. And it looks like the Tiger and Panther will both get fully repaired with all 3 Jacksons annihilated, but the victory points are ticking against the Axis very hard. They're trying to stop the clock with this airborne assault here in the middle. Scott bleeding the squad though from range, and they may be forced to retreat before they can get this point captured. Or they could just completely fail to dodge a grenade. That would also be bad. King Tiger is on the field making its way to the front line with all Jacksons neutralized. This King Tiger is going to have a field day. There's basically nothing left on the field that can counter it, so that's pretty good. Alerus doesn't have any manpower left to deploy emergency Fallschirmjäger out of this little shack or something to try and get the point captured in his desperate time of need. So he's just going to have to work with the infantry he does have. Here on the left side, the victory point still in Soviet hands, defended by shock troops, 2 half-tracks, apparently, and field guns. The King Tiger picks the one place on the map to engage where there's actually any chance of it taking damage, and is going to be forced back for some repairs. These 2 assault this assault grenadier blob, 5 assault grenadiers going in on riflemen here on the right side will get suppressed by this fighting position, which is still here. It didn't go anywhere, but he's just suiciding men into this meat grinder and hoping for the best. This is fighting position still here too. That's probably a wipe. There they go. He does decap the point. But the clock is ticking against the Axis quite quickly still. 42 points remaining. King Tiger cannot afford to just sit idle with 40 victory points remaining and a triple cap about to be going against it. It doesn't matter if it has half health. You can't use King Tiger next game, so get the fuck in there. Oh my god. Props for the Vet 2 stolen M20 though, that's pretty cool. Oh, the Panther decided to show up to the engagement, goes in on the fighting position. Does a weird heel face turn. Vet 3 on that Panther, by the way. Pretty impressive. Should be able to hunt and kill that Jackson if it wants to. Needs to keep chasing, though. I feel like ProfessorVZ's been a little lazy about chasing this game. He does seal the deal on that Jackson this time around. King Tiger circling wide right. There is a Scott, 2 Scots firing, and also some other kind of artillery. High explosive barrage from a field gun going into the central capture circle, making things a rather... What is that Scott doing? Okay. Scott dives the Volksgrenadiers and goes down to the King Tiger. This Tiger making its way to try and re-engage. Both victory points have been taken by the Axis in the center and right. The King Tiger should probably help solidify things on the right side rather than diving 2 field guns. Although they are clumped, it could probably honestly win this engagement with enough luck. That wasn't a very lucky hit. Over here on the right side, a Scott died again. All American armor has been killed except for a brand new Jackson, which is being fielded to the right side desperately to try and stop this victory point drain. There are 2 Panthers and a Tiger over here to keep these riflemen out of the capture circle, and they should be successful. They're getting cut down quite quickly. And assault grenadiers are diving into the capture circle to try and save the day at the very last minute. Rifle squad wiped, grenade being hurled, but there's the retreat. Jackson, fresh Jackson on the field, desperately also trying to help in the engagement, but there are 2 Panthers and a Tiger here. That is way more than 1 Jackson can safely take on. Meanwhile, the engagement for the center will see the King Tiger pulling back for repairs, and a T-34 firing at the Volksgrenadiers, fresh T-34 to try and hold on to the left side. Soviet players should probably make some effort to take the center VP though, otherwise his teammate is going to get bled so hard over here on the right. Panther moves up aggressively to kill the fighting position. Oh no, the ambulance. Okay, snipes the ambulance and we'll pull back to safety. Tiger and Panther receiving repairs, and the Axis are sitting on a very delicate situation right now. King Tiger needs some repairs as well. Apparently fell to about half from, I guess, field gun fire. It's going to take a little while to get that repaired. Brand new tier 2 going up right here for a forward retreat point, I assume, although I don't know if he has the manpower to spend on a forward retreat point. With only 26 points left in the game, I would probably be spamming nothing but infantry squads for the rest of the game at this point if I thought there was going to be any chance of us actually winning. Livingflame has 760 fuel. Wow, make a tier 4. Make something like a Katyusha or something. Come on. Jeez.
Enemy infantry! Field promotion! Cover! Ready!
Folks, Grenadiers get bled hard in that push. They've got to retreat. King Tiger is taking a bajillion years to get repaired. What happened? Oh, the M20 died. Okay. That's not that big of a deal. Man, these repairs are taking forever. They don't have nearly enough repair power. Where are the Sturm Pyos? One squad just got queued up right now. Axis can't really afford to just sit AFK repairing the tanks all day long. Shock troops move to take control of the center VP and will probably succeed if they make enough effort to throw a smoke grenade. Or they could just leave the capture circle and throw a frag. Either way. Squad wiped. Panther moves to try and counter. It's going to take a little while for that Panther to kill those shocks, and it disengages slightly. Over here on the right side, Riflemen deploy smoke and make an attempt for the VP once again. This could be game. This could very definitely be game. Riflemen trying to capture simultaneously with the shock troops in the middle. They do get that point captured. The clock's now ticking against the Axis very quickly. Those Assault Grenadiers are going to die. Oh my god, Assault Grenadiers are dead. Engine damage on the Tiger, and that Jackson may very well destroy it. One more shot on that Tiger and it's going to go down. Panther moves to try and stop this from happening. Misses its shot. Oh no. 16 points and the Axis have no way to stop this capture. That's the game. GG. Allies take it.